Good afternoon, people. Today, April 6th, 2020, we are in COVID 19 hell. Or are we? You know, videos past, I praised the government. I said, Mr. Government, you're doing a good thing. You're keeping the people safe. You're containing the people. But now, I'm starting to question whether the government knows what the fuck they're doing. I applaud the desire to keep people safe. I salute you for that. But you're now creating a state of panic, a state of desperation. I personally have spoken to many people who've told me. I came in one day, before that shift was over, I was told, hey, bye-bye. We're shutting down. It ain't the company that said, I don't like you. The company was told, shut down. The people were told, go home. Okay. Let me go file for unemployment. I called a number. They tell me, well, we have a lot of volume, so it's better for you to go online and file online. I go online. I can't get through. I can't file for unemployment. I call the number. Oh, there's too many people waiting. Try a call back again later. The offices are closed. It's been 3 weeks. I got kids. I got rent. What the fuck am I gonna do? Fortunately, I'm not facing that situation, but there are a lot of fucking Americans right now in that situation. What the fuck are they gonna do? Oh, the checks are coming $1,200. Okay. Am I now going to expect a $1,200 check from the government every month? Or I get a $1,200 check today and then I file for unemployment, and by the time I start getting that in about 3 weeks, then what? Am I going to be on unemployment for the rest of my life? I'm confused. Now, if I made $80,000 a year, unemployment's only going to pay me about $2,000 a month. What happens to my lifestyle? The car that I had that I was making payments on, I can't afford it anymore. Do I default on that? The house that I had that I was making payments on, I can't afford it anymore. Do I default on that? Then what's going to happen when all these people start defaulting on their car loans, on their mortgages, on their credit card debt? Then what's going to happen? See, right now, the reason you're not hearing a lot of noise is because the people that are affected in terms of not being able to work are the blue-collar workers. Your factory workers, your warehouse workers, your construction workers, your retail workers, your restaurant workers, your hotel workers. How the fuck am I, as a hotel clerk, gonna check someone in remotely, working from home? How am I, as a construction worker, going to run the electrical wiring through a house remotely? How am I, as a warehouse worker, going to perform my jobs remotely? But a lot of those people have been deemed unessential. So you gotta go home. You can't work. You're not making any money. Right now, the white collar workers, the office workers, the ones that sit on their butt in an office all day, they could work from home for now. Because the work that they do supports blue collar workers. If you're an accountant for a manufacturing plant, if you're a marketing rep for a distribution facility, if you are an engineer for a retail giant, for now you can work from home. But what happens when the product, the Honda, the Honeywell, the Dick's Sporting Goods, when the product is no longer moving? That means a company is no longer making revenue. And hence, the company no longer needs the support processes. So in about 2 months, unemployment is now 10 million. In about 2 months, it'll be about 30 million. Because right now, I'm going to tell you motherfuckers something. They ain't going to lift this shit until July. So you're talking about April and May. By the end of May, a lot of these companies who can maintain their office workers by having them work from home will no longer be making revenue. If you're not making revenue, you cannot afford costs. If you cannot afford costs, you shut down. If you shut down, the office workers no longer have jobs. They can't work from home because there's no work to be done from home. Now the office workers file for unemployment. And now you have 30 to 40 million Americans unemployed. Is anyone thinking about this shit? They announced a program the other day. We're going to give loans to small businesses. Okay. This is very stupid. When the economy was functioning, that's when you should have given loans to small businesses, because they could invest in their operations and grow, and as they grew, they'd hire more people. I'm a small business. I'm a retail shop. I don't know, I sell clothes, men's clothes. I am a non-essential business. I have been told to shut down. I have 15 employees. I'm not making any money. They gotta go home. You give me a loan. What am I gonna do with that fucking loan? Pay my employees? That's all I could do with it. What am I gonna do with it? I don't need a loan. As a small business owner, I don't need a loan. I need to be able to operate. I need to be able to generate revenue. This giving loans to small, how long are you going to give them loans? At some point, just take over them. Nationalize everything. Is that what you want? You know, I'm being hard on government, but I guess I should be understanding. I should be understanding because I've worked in government. I've worked for the Department of Commerce, Department of Agriculture, which other one? And the EPA. Department of Agriculture, Department of Commerce, right out there in D.C., downtown D.C. EPA across a bridge in Northern Virginia, I think Arlington. I worked for them. Within government, You have a lot of inept people, functionaries, but not just government, corporate America. In corporate America, you have these people that call themselves managers, executives. They really don't do shit. I know. I've been a director in corporate America. I quit. I said, what the fuck am I doing? I've been a program manager, project manager, an IT architect. So I know how shit operates. I've had CEOs, CIOs, as stakeholders for my projects, as team members of my projects. I know how shit operates. You have your line functional managers, and their job is to babysit. Higher up, their job is to compile reports and pass them up and prepare budgets and monitor budgets. Their job is not to fight fires. When a fire comes along, they lose their fucking minds. Who are most of these politicians? Lawyers. A lot of them, that's what their background is. Lawyers don't fight fires. Lawyers make shit up. Lawyers contrive arguments and try to persuade a jury. That's what lawyers do. They don't fight fires. Who fights fires? Generals fight fires. Project managers fight fires. Program managers fight fires. Not managers, not executives. You got scientists. They're used to being in the lab, looking at things through a microscope, taking your temperature. Oh, you have this, you have this. Take that. They're not innovators. You have the wrong people in position to resolve this problem. This is what I'd like to see, government. And this is what might help us get over this shit. Because right now, all we're doing is sitting around and waiting for what? I'm not a helpless motherfucker. I don't like to be a helpless motherfucker. I don't like to feel helpless, and I do not like to be confined. There's a lot of lazy motherfuckers out there. There's a lot of dumb shit motherfuckers out there that need someone to tell them what to do, that need someone to tell them how to live. These are the idiots that play video games. These are the idiots that are stuck on Facebook, Instagram, all that worthless shit. Do nothing motherfuckers. I'm not one of them. That business owner who took that risk to start that business, he's not one of them. The motherfuckers that keep this nation moving forward, the motherfuckers that get shit done, that make shit happen so that the lazy motherfuckers could have somewhere to work and some food to eat, they're not one of them. And we're getting restless. The lazy motherfuckers, they cool. They sit at home all day, play video games all day. They sit at home all day, go on Facebook all day. Yeah, they want an employment for the rest of their lives. I don't. I want to be a trillionaire, motherfucker. I want to be the first motherfucking trillionaire on this planet. And that takes hard work and effort. So this is what needs to happen, government. Fuck the lazy motherfuckers. They ain't never meant shit. They ain't never been shit. They will never be shit. They don't make shit happen. This is about motherfuckers that make shit happen. We make shit move. This is what we want. Number one, get all them doctors, all them scientists, Pence, all them politicians, get them the fuck out the picture. Go out there, Mr. Trump. Go out there and find some generals, retired generals. And you have many to choose from. Colin Powell, one that was out there, Kelly, Mattis, Dunford, McChrystal. There's so many generals out there. Wesley Clark. There's so many generals out there that love this nation. and that would be more than willing to step up. These are retired generals. They'll be more than willing to come out of retirement to step up to help save the nation. Because you put a general in there, the first thing that general is going to do is get an assessment of the battlefield. What's going on out there? What is the situation? What are the threats? No good general goes into a battle without a thorough reconnaissance. I know that. I was forced reconnaissance for the U.S. Marine Corps. We used to gather intel for these generals before they made a decision to commit troops. That's the first thing a good general is going to do. The second thing a good general is going to do is strategize. Establish specific metrics, milestones. This is what we want. We want to be here at this time. We want to be here at this time. We want to be here at this time. This is what we're going to do to get here. This is what we're going to do to get here. This is what we're going to do to get here. The third thing a good general is going to do is get the right people. Not talk a lot, politician motherfuckers. Get the right people that know their shit. That's when the scientists and the doctors and the pharmacists, that's when they come in to be plugged into position to do what they're good at doing. They're not good at fighting fires. They're good at researching. So you plug them in to do their research and let them focus on their research and let the general give the briefing daily. And then the fourth thing that good general is going to do is monitor progress. And where there's progress lacking, he will adjust his strategy, his tactics to ensure success. You get some good generals, some good retired generals, and you put them up there to run this shit, Trump, we'll have this shit resolved quickly. But as long as you got these governors, these politicians, these directors of public health, these doctors of this and this, we ain't going nowhere because they don't know how to fight fires. Now, my second point. As I indicated, I've been a program manager and a project manager for several Fortune 100 companies. Amongst them, Southern California Edison, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, American Red Cross, British Telecom, AT&T, and I could go on. I have never, ever, ever delivered a project behind schedule or over budget. Never. Not because I'm special, but because of one thing, and that thing is called risk management. Line managers, corporate executives have no idea what the fuck risk management is. Most project managers who fail don't know what risk management is. So I'll tell you what risk management is. For every action, there is a reaction. When you cross a street and you don't look both ways and you're hit by a car, you're injured. You've suffered the manifestation of a risk. That risk was getting hit by a car while crossing the street. Effective risk management involves identifying any and all potential risks that could impact the success of an initiative. quantifying and qualifying those risks. When I say quantify, you want to understand, how could this risk, if it emerged and became an issue, how could it impact the project schedule, the project budget, the final product? What impact in terms of quality would it have to the final product? You now have a basket of risks. You then ask yourself, what am I going to do with these risks? You can accept them and say, I can't do shit to this risk. I can't get rid of this risk. So I just have to work my solution incorporating this risk. So for example, I've designed global networks. And some of these networks, they have locations. They might have a little factory out in Sri Lanka somewhere, and the main office is in New Jersey, but they want to be able to link to that little factory. Well, there's no fiber that goes out to Sri Lanka. So what does that mean? You have to use VSAT, satellite. Satellite has a fixed 0.5 second latency delay, which means that if you want to do real time, you can't do it. If I wanted to do real time to that factory in Sri Lanka, knowing that I have no fiber, so that is a risk, I have to accept that risk and redesign my process to accommodate that 0.5 second latency. That's accepting the risk. Avoiding the risk. There's this risk over here, we can't do anything about it. Well, you know what? We will just not deal with it. So we'll design our solution in a manner that does not even consider that risk. So that risk cannot even affect us in any way because we've taken it out of scope. Then there's risk transference. I build homes. You call me into your house, you tell me, hey, I'd like you to build 2 new bathrooms for me. I'm going to have to run pipes. I'm going to have to drill through your studs, your floor joists. I have to break down your walls, all that shit. Probably break the floor, plywood, the floorboard. Now, you don't know me. I tell you I'm good, but you don't know me. If I come into your house and I fuck your house up, I flood your whole house, fuck up your walls, such your house is unlivable, I cause $150,000 worth of damage over a $20,000 job, you'll want some compensation. So that's why a lot of states, general contractors, have to be bonded. What does that bonding do? It is transferring the risk of me coming to your house and fucking your house up, and you not being able to collect. You can now collect because now there's that $100,000 bond. So you can now go to that and you could get compensation for the damage that I caused. That is transferring risk. That's what insurance companies do. When you talk about in the financial markets, derivatives, when you talk about swaps, interest rate swaps, that is transferring the risk. I won't go into detail. I won't. The fourth method of dealing with risk is called risk mitigation. I have this risk. How can I handle it? How can I minimize it? How can I eliminate it? That's risk mitigation. So the first thing to effective project management is to develop a project plan. Inclusive in that project plan is your risk management plan. Once a project gets going, you then monitor the risks, such that before the risk emerges to manifest itself as an issue, you've got it under control. Politicians, line managers, whatever, they don't know, business executives, they don't understand risk management. Right now, what they're doing is exposing the economy and the nation to a tremendous level of risk. You are pumping trillions, 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 trillions of dollars into the economy. You're printing money, printing. Where are the economists? Where are the fucking economists? You always see them when there's, the markets are markets, and you see them on CNN, the specialists, the experts, Harvard Law School, blah, 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 economic expert. Where are they now? Because I don't hear anybody talking about the inflation, the hyperinflation that is going to hit this country in September. In September. The price of oil is down. Oil is a major component in calculating the CPI. But I guarantee you, in September, if you take oil out of the equation, we're going to be at about 15% inflation. 15%. You are printing money, putting money into circulation with no correspondent increase in production. Actually, you're increasing the money supply and reducing economic activity. What the fuck are you doing? We are going to see inflation like we have never fucking seen inflation. And there's nobody talking about it. Why? I want to know why. You're shutting down businesses. You are shutting down businesses. If this goes till July, about 30% of American businesses will cease to function. 30%. Is anyone thinking about what they're doing? During the Great Depression, business was still functioning. So even if I had a little bit of money, I could still spend it somewhere at a business, and that business could pay his 2 or 3 employees. Business is not functioning. Talk is cheap, my nigga. Talk is cheap. Let me put on my project management hat. Let me put on my PMO director hat. Let me put on my program manager hat. And let me be the man in charge for a second. And let me tell you how to approach this. As I said, my whole thing is to encourage the intelligent people out there, the thinkers, the doers, to encourage them to start thinking. Because we have to realize something. The majority of Americans are dumb as shit, and they're brain dead. That's why they're not even thinking about the aftermath. So to you thinkers, even if you disagree with what I say, that's good. Come up with your own solution. Put it out there. Let someone else disagree with what you say. They come up with a solution. Pretty soon, we will have the thinking, intelligent, capable people in this country putting forth ideas that are better than what the fucking government is doing. And then maybe we could get this shit back on track. So I'm the big boss, PMO director. You come to me. Mr. PMO director, we have a problem. Hey, what's your problem, motherfucker? Well, we have this pandemic that's going around just pop, 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 killing motherfuckers. Like it ain't shit. Everywhere it looks, oh, there's another one, pop. There's another one, pop. I don't give a fuck, it just want to kill. Okay. What else? Because of this pandemic and everyone just dropping dead like flies, we gotta shut everything down. I mean, what the fuck? We either keep going and people die, or we shut everything down and damn, what the fuck? I say, all right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Problem Man. Now I know what your problem is. So, how about this for a solution? At the end of the day, when all is said and done, once upon a time, before the end, the pandemic is contained. Now, when I say contained, let's define metrics. What do you mean by contained? It means it is not spreading, number one. Number two, it is not killing as at high a rate. Yes, at the end of the day, there will be those who will die. But if it was killing 10% of the people it infected, and we could bring that down to 1%, that's progress. If 10 million people were infected and we're getting 200,000 new infections a day, and we could bring that down to no more than 1,000 new infections a day, that's progress. So if we've attained those metrics, then we could say the pandemic has been contained. Number two, if we could get the economy functioning again, not necessarily at full strength, but the minimal target should be 50%. 50% of economic activity taking place. Instead of having 20 million unemployed, let's have 5 million unemployed for now. For now. What that does, it keeps the engine moving. People can work. People can make money. People can meet their obligations. So, metric number one, we have the pandemic contained. Metric number two, we have the economy moving at 50% with specific objectives, tactical objectives to get it to 75% and then 100% within 3 months. 50% now, 75% in 2 months, 100% in 3 months. That's a roadmap. Okay, Mr. Stakeholder, you happy? Is that what you want? You're the stakeholder. Say, yeah, motherfucker. That's what I want, my nigga. Let me get that shit. I say, all right, son. Let me spell it out for you. I'll set up 3 programs. Program number 1 is a pandemic program. And I'll take a general, a retired general, and put him in charge of that pandemic program. Working with that general will be one hell of a program manager who has never failed. The general works at the oversight level, control. The program manager makes things happen. They work together. They get this shit done. Under that pandemic program, I'd have 4 projects, each with their own project manager. I'd have the viral research project. This way I'd have all the scientists. And their job, their responsibility, is to find out everything you could possibly know about not just this virus, but all viruses. What their DNA structure is like, how they bind to host cells in order to gain entry, the process by which they invade the host nucleus to force the nucleus to replicate the virus as opposed to itself, the building blocks that are constructed in that replication process, and how those building blocks are then put together to form a new virus, and how that virus then explodes out of that host cell and goes to infect other viruses, and the impact that virus has on the host. The viral research team would have to develop a clear understanding of all known viruses with those factors. Put that into an AI engine. I'll come to that later. Because all things have commonalities. By identifying those commonalities, I could look and say, this worked in that. How did it work on that? Can it work on this? That would be the responsibility of the viral research project. Nothing else. They don't give no fucking briefings, nothing else. The pharmaceutical research project. Their responsibility, the scope of that project would be, number 1, fuck a vaccine for now. Yes, develop a vaccine, initiate that process, but that's coming way down. Right now, I need a cure. So that's number 1. Deliverable for that project. A cure. Even if that cure means that some people for a period of time have to go around on oxygen, I would rather someone spend 6 months on oxygen than they lie 6 feet under the ground. Because I'm going to put you on oxygen for 6 months, but over time, we want to get you off that shit. So yes, run around with a fucking oxygen tank for 6 months, but you're still alive, motherfucker. So, Vaccination would be one deliverable. An immediate applicable cure would be another deliverable. And then effective disinfectant, which I hear very few people talk about. But effective disinfectant and how it can be applied, that would be the third deliverable for the pharmaceutical research project. The third project under the pandemic program will be containment. How do we minimize, with minimal disruption, how do we minimize the spread of this virus? And how do we enforce without violating the constitutional rights of Americans? How do we enforce such a strategy? So that would be the third element of this pandemic program, the third project. And the final project, which kind of ties back to pharmaceutical, but kind of pulls from pharmaceutical, is treatment. So pharmaceutical would develop the cure and the disinfectants, but the treatment project would now deploy that. Let's now get this cure out to the hospitals, to the urgent clinics. Let's get this disinfectant out. Let's get it manufactured. Let's get it deployed. So we're disinfecting surfaces. We're disinfecting air ducts, keeping things clean, reducing the probability of infection. Program 1. Program 2. The economy program. I don't know what fantasy world a lot of you people live in, but for your information, money don't grow on trees. I know it's springtime, you're starting to see green things in the trees. Those are leaves. That's not money. You take that shit, go to a store, buy some shit, they might smack you. Alright? Money don't grow on trees. The money the government is printing, it's got to be paid back. Either through taxation or through debt. We already owe 20 trillion. We might as well owe 30, 40, 50. What the fuck? Why not owe $1 zillion? Excess cash in circulation, that's gonna fuck you up with inflation. So, to all those fantasy living, Facebook, whatever social media, video game playing motherfuckers, come on. This reality. This ain't your video games. This is reality. The economy needs to function. Any stupid motherfucker who says, oh, fuck the economy, let's solve this, they're a stupid motherfucker. If they're in government, they don't need to be in government. They're a stupid motherfucker. You need to get the economy going. Fuck all you motherfuckers. Because you are on some shit. That's how you do it. The economy program. 4 projects. Project number 1. Infrastructure sustenance. When I say infrastructure, I'm talking about those cornerstones of the economy that keep things going. To an extent, they're doing that. Essential services, that's critical. Trucking, ports, airports, distributors that feed the online shoppers, that feed the grocery stores. Keep that going. That's good. You're doing a good job there. All right. Establish metrics. Manage to those metrics. Adjust Establish SLAs. Manage those SLAs. You're doing a good job. KPIs, whatever you want to call them. You're doing a good job. Project 2, financial market stability. And I'm not just talking about Wall Street. I start trading this Wednesday. I hope it's still volatile. I want to make some money. I'll come back in 3 weeks, let you know how I did. That's a portion of it. I'm talking about the lending facilities, the borrowing facilities, credit cards, financing cars, making car payments. If you have a lot of people defaulting because they're not working, that's a problem. This project would look at that. We have this situation. People ain't working. People ain't making money. People are hurting. People are scared. They owe money. How can we attain a balance such that the lenders don't get fucked over and the borrowers don't get fucked over and everyone's happy? That's a financial market stability project. That's its focus. The third project would be the credit market stability. Kind of ties into financial market stability. So we'll just bunch those as one project. And then the fourth project, the third project would be economic activity. We have to start the economy back up. I don't care how you do it. You have to start the economy back up. This can't go on any further. People need jobs. Businesses need to trade. Bottom line. Bottom fucking line. So this project would look at the capabilities or the methodologies that could be deployed to start to bring the economy back to life, while at the same time avoiding the spread of the virus. Tricky proposition, but given the right hands, the right capabilities, the right thinking, it can be done. With the politicians, with the scientists, with the talk a lot little media scaremonger journalist motherfuckers, it ain't gonna happen. Like I said, go get some generals, colonels even, and go get some of the best fucking project managers in this country, and it will happen. There are ways to get the economy going and not have 6 million, 10 million filing for unemployment each week. Yes, there's some who want to be unemployed. There are many who don't. There are many people who, it don't matter if they're making $12 an hour. They're glad to wake up every fucking day and go do their stupid little job because they're earning their living. And that makes them proud. They don't want a handout. Like I said, I don't give a fuck about the lazy motherfuckers. I'm talking about the do motherfuckers. So this project would be focused. How do we get the economy going? How do we keep people safe? Now, there are programs. They're under the pandemic PMO. So they interact. They talk to each other. Hey, I'm doing this for my project. How's that going to affect your project? Bam, bam, bam. Get shit done. Identify all the risks. One big risk basket. Manage it. Manage it. The third program would be the technology program. Now, prior, I spoke about the virus project. Identify any and everything about all known viruses and document it. Put it in a database, or better yet, a data warehouse. All right? normalized. Foreign key relationships, referential integrity, all that shit. Get the best database designers out there, the best data architects. Have them define and design that shit for you. Pharmaceutical project. What agents can impact this virus? How can they impact it? What cures are out there that we could apply to this virus? Get all the data. Then what you do? Go to Google. They got some smart boys down there. Go to Stanford, Caltech, MIT. They got some smart motherfuckers out there. Tell them, look, man, we want you to develop an artificial intelligence agency. An artificial intelligence engine that we could feed all this data into, train it, and then have that engine develop probable cures, probable disinfectants. You could take 2-3 years of research and condense it to a month using AI. Do it. So that'll be one of the deliverables for the technology program. An artificial intelligence engine that we could feed the viral research information, the pharmaceutical research information, and at the other end, significantly condense the time it takes to develop a probable cure. It can be done. It can be done. The other thing this AI engine would work for is economic modeling and simulation. If we do this and this, what will the impact be? What if we change this and introduce this over here? What will the impact be? This AI engine could take a bunch of different inputs, run a bunch of different simulations, and let you know beforehand what the potential economic impact of any action you undertake would be. Hence, you significantly minimize any adverse impacts down the road. The second deliverable project of the technology program would be an expanded communications infrastructure. What I'm talking about is in the downtown areas of most major metropolitan areas, you could build an outdoor wireless mesh, which means that anyone with a smartphone can connect. So if I'm in downtown LA, downtown New York, Chicago, wherever, I could connect to this government wireless mesh and get out on the internet. That would be critical for communications, for interaction with people, all right, with family members, and significantly minimize the delay in terms of response. Problems, difficulties have a purpose. And that purpose is to make us better than we were. We have to learn from our mistakes. See, in 1987, Well, no. In the 1930s, you had a credit bubble, led to the Great Depression. In the 80s, you had a credit bubble, the S&L crisis, led to a bunch of foreclosures. In 87, you had another credit bubble, led to the stock market crash of 87. In early 2000s, you had another credit bubble, led to the dot-com burst. In 2008, I wouldn't call it a credit bubble, I call it a fraud bubble. I call it a fraud bubble because had not those banks been able to sell off their mortgages so that they could be repackaged into CMOs, and then those banks bought those CMOs back and put them in their books, we never would have had 2008. So it wasn't so much a credit bubble as it was a fraud bubble. We never learn. From the catastrophes we face, we never learn. We keep doing the same fucking thing that got us there in the first place. Difficulties, catastrophes are there to make you a better person, to teach you a lesson, for you to learn and grow. As a nation, as a world, it is there to make us a better people. But we're not gonna learn because we're gonna go back to the same fucking shit. The Chinese gonna go back to eating bats whenever the fuck they were eating that gave them this shit. People are gonna go out there still eat monkeys, still eat dogs, cats that gave us this shit. There's a reason the Bible says don't eat this, don't eat that. God ain't a fool. You think you're better than God? All right, motherfucker. Solve this shit. God ain't a fool. We need to learn. So what do we learn from this? Number one, we need to be prepared. We need to have contingency plans. That's what I had as a project manager, a contingency plan. If this happens and I cannot handle it, what do I do? Such that if that does happen, I have a plan. If we're invaded by aliens tomorrow, what the fuck we gonna do? If 100 volcanoes blow up tomorrow, what the fuck we gonna do? If the U.S. is hit by 29.8 earthquakes tomorrow morning, what the fuck we gonna do? Government? Have you planned for that? Panic is not the answer. And that's why you need to get emotional little shit motherfuckers out the picture when it comes to responses. I've been in battle. I was a Marine, Force Recon. I had men under my charge, and I led these men on missions. And on one mission, several missions, you're moving along. I won't say where because the U.S. has never been there, but you're moving along in some place. And gunshots. You don't know where the fuck they coming from? You didn't expect them? What do? Panic? You'll get killed. You think. Drop, motherfuckers. All of you, drop. All right. No one fires, no one moves, no one says anything. Let's see if we can see the muzzle blast. It's coming from there. You got a grenade launcher? Toss that shit. How many are there? There's another one there. All right, this is what we gotta do. Take this path. Get out of the line of fire. You think you don't panic? These government people are panicking. These media, oh, they happy. They got a story to sell all day, everywhere. Coronavirus. I'm like, ain't shit else going on in the world, motherfucker? So, learn from this government. Learn. You've shown your ineptness. Just like corporate America's CEOs showed how worthless they were in 2008, in 2001. When everything's going good, you're all good. When you hit a rock, oh my God. I can't tell you who to hire, government, but I could tell you this. Develop an emergency response team. And in that emergency response team, put the best, most stable, most rational, most intelligent. This is where intelligence matters. And when I say intelligence, I'm not saying I went to Harvard, I went to Yale. Nah. Getting a good GPA in high school, it just needs you to study a lot and memorize shit. Getting into med school, law school, you just need a high GPA. Just need to study and memorize shit. Law school, all they do is memorize shit. Medical school, their first 2 years, all they do is memorize shit. That's not intelligence. Intelligence is innovation, creativity, finding solutions to problems. These Harvard, Columbia, whatever, Yale, Ivy League, whatever, they just motherfuckers is good at memorizing shit. They're not good at solving problems. Get engineers, get generals, get colonels who've been battle tested, and staff your emergency response team with those people. Mathematicians, research scientists. Staff your emergency response team with those people, such that the next time an emergency like this arises, you got it handled. But politicians, media, lawyers, doctors, fuck them. Fuck them. Lastly, to my fellow Americans who have brains and use them, to my fellow Americans who don't live on social media, to my fellow Americans who are not consumed by the fantasy of video games, to my fellow Americans who believe that through hard work comes results, that believe that when a problem is encountered, your goal is to find a solution and overcome that problem. And I know, out of 300 million Americans, I know there's probably less than 300,000 in this group to which I speak. But those 300,000 are the ones that make this country function. To you, this is my challenge. How can we, as individual private citizens, save this nation, not violating the government's mandates? Yeah, they say shut this, shut that, whatever. Okay, cool. But given that situation, what can we do to revive the economy and get shit functioning again? I'm not talking to the dumb motherfuckers. If you play video games, I'm not talking to you. If you're stuck on social media, I'm not talking to you. If you're one of those pretentious little fake shit narcissistic motherfuckers in love with themselves, I'm not talking to you. If you're one of them little entitled, little pretty, whatever shit motherfuckers, I'm not talking to you. If you're dumb as shit, I'm not talking to you. If you're a follower and you do what everyone else does just because you want to fit in, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to you, the leaders. We need to start thinking. What can we do now to get shit back on point? What can we do? I don't know everything. Not any one of you knows everything. But bringing all our minds, all our intelligence together, we, 300,000, can solve this problem for 300 million. Right now, I've lost faith in the government to solve this. It's going to take intelligent, capable individuals to turn this around. Some of you have clout. So maybe through exchanging ideas, those of you who have clout can then go up to the government, to Trump, and say, hey, Trump, this is what we're thinking. What do you think? You feel me? But we have to do this to save our nation. These idiots, fuck them. And I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about the other dumb shit Americans. Fuck them. They'll thank us when we've got it done. For now, fuck them. The government's confused. The government's panicking. Let's give them a viable solution. I'm going to go do some research on pneumonia, on respiratory illnesses, and develop a model through which economic activity can be restored given the current constraints. That'll be the subject of my next video. Right now, I just wanted to present an alternate approach and to encourage the thinking Americans that we start working to restore this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the virus might be a killer, but remember this, it don't have a fucking brain. We have brains, it don't have a brain. We could kill this motherfucking bitch. Thank you. Good night.